Okay, we've made it to Flagstaff. Stop by my brother's place real quick, and look, it is pouring rain, which is good. Also, I noticed when we were driving here that a lot of the spots going into the forest, looks like they took down all the signs for being closed. So, and as far as from what I could tell on the internet, the Coconino National Forest is back open.
Why don't you tell them how Scout just puked all over the whole car?
Yes. Scout on the drive here puked all over the inside of the car. Yeah, and we just got that all cleaned up. Sometimes she gets a little car sick. Not all the time, but sometimes. This is one of those times we probably should not have fed her right before we put her in the car. Hindsight says you're going to clean up puke if you feed your dog right before you get in the car. Yeah, this is a downpour.
Like getting back in order, dude.
Yep. Got your headlights on?
Yep. Safety first.
Safety first.
It's so loud, I can't like talk to you.
You can't even see the hills right there. That is a downpour. Yeah. Oh yeah, the car will be actually nice and clean. Wow, look at that storm. Monsoons are definitely back. From what I could tell, it looks like the forests are back open. I know Coconino National Forest is open. We went to Flagstaff today and every boondocking spot we drove past was open. Too bad that's not going to fall right here on the property. So nice to have the monsoons back. So far we've gotten a little bit of rain every day. Yesterday it rained, I don't know, rained for about a half hour, 45 minutes. Today it looked like when we were gone, it looked like it rained probably for about maybe 15 or 20 minutes. It already dried back up, but it's very humid out right now. I mean, when you're used to the humidity being 15%, 20%, when it jumps up to 60 or 70 or 80%, it feels like we're in the tropics. And it's cold. I was amazed. We left and went to town, and it's a much cooler day. Just 4 days ago it was 99 degrees, and right now, as crazy as it is, it's got to be 68. It's actually cold. Sue has all the windows closed in the RV. We've adjusted to the heat, just like the people that live in Phoenix. We've adjusted to the heat now, so you know, 60s and 70s feels cold. That's awesome though. I've never been able to tolerate the heat until this year, which tells me I'm probably getting old. Yeah, I came out last night when the storms were moving through for about a half hour. I watched the lightning in the distance, and then got up at 3 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't sleep, and let Scout out, and over towards Flagstaff there was a big lightning show. That's one of my favorite things, because being up in Oregon for 25 years, I only saw 3 thunderstorms roll through Milwaukee where I lived. Otherwise, the typical Oregon rain, half the time you look up at the sky and it just looks like a blank gray like that. You can't really tell where the clouds are, and the rain comes down in kind of a semi-fine, not really a sprinkle, but a little more than that. But it's enough that it soaks things pretty fast. And then every so often you get the really hard downpours and stuff. But out here, when it rains, it's almost always just a torrential downpour. And the storms here are just different. You know, I remember what the storms were like when I lived in Flagstaff. I used to love the thunderstorms. That's one of my favorite things about the Southwest. And the storms that happen in the summer in the desert, or in the winter in the desert, are not the same as the thunderstorms that happen during the monsoons. They do not have the same level of energy, and they don't have the thunder and lightning. And for the weather nuts out there today, when I got up this morning at, let's see, when we left at 8 a.m., the dew point was 68 degrees and cloudy sky. And right now I looked and the dew point is 69 degrees. So if you know anything about the dew point, it has a lot to do with if it's going to be a monsoon storm or not. If it's going to be the storm with all the rain and the thunder and lightning, the dew point has to be at a certain point. And I actually only learned that last year. I just learned it from watching one of the Phoenix weather stations. They had like a half-hour special on weather, and the guy explained how the dew point works and at what point the dew point has to be above, I think it's 55 degrees down in Phoenix. And then he was talking about up here on the south rim plateau of the Grand Canyon, which is where we're at. You know, in the South Rim Plateau is a huge area. It's hundreds and it's actually tens of thousands of square miles. It's basically everything from the South Rim of the Grand Canyon all the way down to Williams is considered the South Rim Plateau, if that makes any sense to anybody. So it's a huge area. Lots of rumbling going on up there. But the weather guy was saying that up here at this altitude, I think he said it was like 48 degrees or maybe 49, I can't remember, something like it was upper 40s for the dew point for it to be a monsoon storm. So when the dew point is way up in the 60s, almost at 70 degrees, there's a lot of moisture in the air, and all of this is coming from Phoenix, from what I can tell. We disconnected our satellite about a little over a month ago, so honestly I don't watch any of the local news anymore, so I don't really know what's going on. I noticed when we went to Flagstaff that they had the gigantic flood that they've been anticipating for the last year and a half, ever since the museum fire in 2019. I believe that happened in August. It burned a section of the mountain that normally controls the water drainage that goes down into the east side of Flagstaff, especially down near 4th Street and stuff. And when we drove down there today, it looks like they had a flash flood that went through, and every single street was covered in 6 to 8 inches deep of mud and debris and stuff. And they were using large graders and tractors and front end loaders and city crews out there with brooms and shovels. And I mean, there were hundreds and hundreds of city people out there working, getting it done, trying to get it all cleaned up. And I actually watched a couple of videos. You should go check them out. Just type in Flagstaff flash flood 2021 and you'll see some of the videos that come up, and it is just unbelievable. The flash floods that came down from that mountain, and they had been expecting it. You know, a lot of the city, especially like where my brother works, they had, you know, sandbagged up everything, and I'm gonna have to talk to my brother tonight and find out what happened. You know, in fact, I won't talk to my brother. My brother works for a carpet cleaning and fire and water restoration company, and I guarantee you that there are probably hundreds and hundreds of homes and businesses and stuff that got flooded with this stuff, and that's the kind of cleanups that they do. So he'll probably be working damn near 24 hours a day for the next week getting all this stuff cleaned up. But it's all insurance work, and you know, his boss is going to make a fortune. That's how it works. That's how it works in this country. You know, if you do insurance work and some big disaster thing happens, you really cash out. You know, we're gonna add all of my sister's pets and my niece and nephew's pets. We have all their ashes, and we have all the pet ashes from all of my parents' pets, literally. And we're gonna put all of those out here too, make some new markers and stuff. And this is the little baby pinyon pine tree that started growing. It was real small, but this is kind of going to be my tree, my dedication to Luna. I'm going to take good care of it, make sure it's always here. Eventually it'll put a nice shade over this spot. So awesome. Day 2 in a row, pouring rain in the afternoon, enough to totally wet the ground and give everything a nice watering. Totally awesome. Man, things are going to really start greening up around here. Alright, so this is our weather radar. Right now, we're going to be getting some gnarly thunderstorms. Yeah, baby. Let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah, up there by the north rim of the Grand Canyon. Right up in here. Everything's all wet. It rained last night for 6 hours. It's so nice to have a bunch of rain again. The ground is quite wet. It's actually, everything's wet. And we still have cloudy skies, and our forecast is for heavy thunderstorms this afternoon. So, I'll tell you what, let's, no, stay there, baby girl. Let's do a test spot. Let me dig down. Let's see how far we have to go down before we get to dry dirt. So it looks like even with all that rain, it only moistened the ground about 1.5 inches. Yep. That's how dry it is here with the drought. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Just barely scrape the surface and you get right down to dry. But I'll tell you what, my racetrack is good to go for pretty much almost a whole day of riding, I bet. Okay, so this is our rainstorm. I believe this is day 5 in a row where we're getting some rain again. I think it's like 1:30 today. Yesterday it started raining at like 11 o'clock. But anyway, look at little homie kicking back in his little cover, keeping the rain off him. He doesn't care. He's just gonna chill. Yep, there's baby girl. She's got some sticks and some other stuff. She's all excited. She's kind of tired of being inside. There's quite a few times in the last few days where it was raining too much for her to be out, and too much lightning. So far it sounds like the thunder and lightning are a little far away, so. But when it starts getting close, we tend to go inside. That's so cute. Okay, I decided to come out here in the middle of my field to look at these thunderstorms. That is so cool. So the big one there in the middle of the screen is straight towards Williams. Ooh, look at the lightning. And then the way the light is coming through these other two. That's impressive. A lot of water coming down. It's been so nice. This morning was the 4th morning in a row where we got up and it had rained. You know, that's 4 nights in a row where the ground was wet all night and then all morning until it dried up from the sun.